Next on Worcester News tonight, Princeton residents remember 27-year-old Vanessa Marcotte, who was killed 1 year ago today. More on how her legacy is being kept. Plus, public health officials warning Central Mass residents after West Nile virus is found in more mosquitoes. What you need to know. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. August 7th marks the 1-year anniversary of Vanessa Marcotte's death. Today, Princeton residents are remembering the young woman. The 27-year-old was visiting her mother in Princeton when she went for a jog on Brooks Station Road and never returned. Marcotte's body was found a half-mile from her mother's home. The suspect accused of Marcotte's murder is behind bars, but some in the town say they're still on edge after what they describe as a scary year for the Princeton community.
It was a tough year. I felt for the family tremendously. It was a different way of life for a while. We locked our windows, locked our doors, didn't, keep our garage doors open for a long time, didn't let the kids go outside and play. It was a different way of life for a while, and now I think people are getting back to normal, but we lived on edge for a while.
Marcotte's memory is being kept alive through the Vanessa T. Marcotte Foundation. The organization has raised more than $100,000, all donated to educational programs to promote female empowerment and provide mentorship opportunities. You can learn more by visiting vanessatmarcottefoundation.org. Public health officials are warning residents in both Worcester and Grafton after West Nile virus is detected in more mosquitoes. Officials say they've raised the risk warning and are urging residents to protect themselves. Our Cam Jandro has more on what you need to know about West Nile virus in Central Mass. Cam?
Catherine, after more positive test results, Worcester has increased its risk level for the West Nile virus from low to moderate. Officials say even though conditions aren't very dangerous right now, it's important to be precautious.
The city confirms another 9 samples of West Nile virus have been found in mosquitoes. The results came back last week. It's the second discovery this summer and comes just days after the virus was found in mosquitoes in Grafton. Public Health Director Karen Clark says raising the risk level is not unusual to see this time of year.
At least elevating the risk factors up to moderate, and it's again just really trying to educate the public on taking caution and preventative measures so that they don't get bit by a mosquito.
No humans have tested positive, but the city is upping the risk level because of the sustained and increasing amounts of West Nile in central Massachusetts. Wet areas and standing water can attract mosquitoes to your neighborhood. Residents are asked to drain any excess water to avoid any breeding of mosquitoes. The Department of Public Health says it's not time to panic, but residents must take the proper precautions when heading outside.
Really using bug spray or insect repellent that has DEET. We also are really making sure that people try to remember to wear long sleeves and long pants, especially again at dawn and dusk.
The West Nile virus affects people of all ages, but children and babies are among those with the highest risk of facing severe infection. Some parents are uneasy after seeing the number of positive tests increase in the area.
It's scary because I have 2 children that live in the country.
I'm a little concerned now that I don't know that it was going on. I'm happy my son has long pants and a long shirt on because I'd be a little nervous that bug's going around.
And in the summer season, Clark urges locals to keep an eye inside their house as well.
If you have a hole in your screens at home, make sure you patch them up. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it can save you a headache in the long run.
Now, Worcester's Department of Public Health says the best way to avoid contact with getting bit by mosquitoes is by following their 5 Ds. That's dawn, dusk, dress, DEET, and drain. And you can find more information on how to avoid mosquito bites on the City of Worcester's website. Catherine?
Thank you, Cam. Organizers are in the early stages of planning next year's Our Lady of Mount Carmel's Italian Festival. It will be held next August, and this all coming after church members submitted an appeal to the Vatican to save the historic Italian-American church from the wrecking ball. Services at Our Lady of Mount Carmel were moved to Our Lady of Loretto Church after the building was deemed structurally unsafe. Parishioners say they're waiting to hear back from the Vatican, who recently accepted the appeal for the property in June. Tonight, planning members say they're getting a head start on planning the Italian-American Festival, which has been a long-standing tradition at the church.
Not in the last couple months. I mean, the appeals with the Vatican right now, and everything's kind of on hold as far as the property goes. We'll see what happens. Our decision was just based on the simple fact that we had an unviable parish financially, and we'll see the decisions they make on that. But
I don't think the planning will be too different. I believe we're going to take both the best aspects of both churches and how we ran them before. Everybody that comes here is looking forward to being part of the church and progressing and making this a very solid parish.
The Italian Festival is planned for next August at Our Lady of Loretto Church. Parishioners tell us the Vatican has 90 days to approve or deny the appeal for the Mulberry Street property. The Southbridge man charged with stabbing a nurse inside Harrington Hospital in Southbridge has been found mentally incompetent to stand trial. A Worcester judge today making the determination on 24-year-old Connor O'Regan after reviewing an evaluation done on O'Regan at Bridgewater State Hospital. O'Regan was an ER patient at the hospital when prosecutors say he attacked Elise Wilson in June. She was hospitalized for serious injuries. O'Regan allegedly told police someone commanded him to be a, quote, warrior for the cause. He's being held without bail. He'll be held at Bridgewater State Hospital. It's unclear for how long. A Westborough man is cited after his car crashes into a local restaurant, causing serious damage. Westborough Fire tweeted out this picture of the crash. It happened just before 1 a.m. Saturday when the car went into Christina's Cafe on South Street. The car was heavily damaged. The Telegram reports the driver, 23-year-old Adis Rudis, was asleep at the wheel when his vehicle crashed into the building. No injuries were reported. First responders are being more vigilant when responding to cases involving a powerful, deadly drug. Fentanyl is creating a serious danger for secondary exposure to police, fire, and EMS personnel. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with doctors and Worcester Police and has the details.
In putting first responders at risk.
The drug at the forefront of the opioid epidemic can cause problems for first responders treating overdose victims. Doctors say police, fire, and EMS can be exposed to fentanyl easily.
Fentanyl is used in patch form and can be absorbed through the skin. Inhalation risk is a risk, especially when there's high concentrations in the area.
UMass Memorial's chief of toxicology says fentanyl is 40 times more potent than heroin, and carfentanil is 100 times more potent than fentanyl.
The potency of fentanyl and carfentanil is what makes us concerned about these secondary exposures.
Those numbers are increasing over the past couple of years to where the heroin's containing more fentanyl.
Worcester police say the possibility of an exposure to heroin and fentanyl is an everyday occurrence for their officers.
Our Vice Squad's very active and they do a lot of drug seizures. Fentanyl is becoming a bigger part of what they're seeing. It can be very dangerous in very small doses. So it's something we're aware of, and our people are all very careful to protect themselves and others.
According to Sergeant Sean Murtha, there have been no cases of first responders being exposed to fentanyl in the city. One big reason, both doctors at UMass Memorial and first responders have had extensive training.
Our teams are so well trained in terms of using universal precautions like gloves and dust masks that we have not had an event.
It comes down to common sense. Wear latex gloves. Anytime you see a powder or a substance you're not absolutely sure of, stay far away from it. Don't touch it. Make sure you're not in a position where you could inhale it, which is the thing we're most worried about.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Federal grant money will help fund addiction treatment at 5 jails across Massachusetts. The Worcester County House of Corrections will receive $100,000. The money will be put towards treatment programming and follow-up aftercare. Sheriff Lou Evangelitis says people recently released from jail are 55 times more likely to fatally overdose than the general public.
We just try very hard to work with those people who want to help themselves. It's a tough population. Not all of them have bottomed out. Not all of them have really come to the point in their life where they want to stop this addiction. They want to beat it. But if they do, we are trying now with this new program to identify those inmates, get them involved in the educational programming, get them involved in the understanding of what Vivitrol program can do, and then get them in the program and then transition them out into a program we believe will help them succeed.
The funding is provided by the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. It's part of an $11 million